Imagine you're standing on a thin tightrope, thousands of feet above a jagged canyon. You have two choices. You can walk across with no safety gear, hoping your balance is perfect, or you can wear a harness that catches you the second your foot slips. Most people in the world of trading are out there on that rope with no harness, no net, and a blindfold on. They think they're walking toward wealth, but they're actually just one gust of wind away from a fall they can never recover from. Today, we aren't talking about how to walk the rope. We're talking about how to build the harness that makes you invincible, even when you fall. The biggest lie you've ever been told about the markets is that you need to be a genius to make money. You don't. You need to be a professional survivor. The markets are a chaotic ocean of human emotion, fear, greed, and panic. If you jump in without a plan for when things go wrong, the ocean will swallow you whole. The difference between the person who loses their house and the person who builds a kingdom is one simple thing: how they handle being wrong. Because here is the cold, hard truth that no one wants to admit: you will be wrong. You will be wrong more often than you want to believe. But in this game, being wrong doesn't have to be expensive. Think about the last time you took a trade. You saw a pattern, you felt a rush of excitement, and you clicked buy. Suddenly, the price started dropping. Your heart started racing. You told yourself, it'll come back. I just need to give it a little more room. That right there is the moment you stopped being a trader and started being a gambler. You were no longer making a business decision. You were praying. And the market has no ears for prayers. To win, you have to kill that version of yourself. You have to stop caring about being right and start caring about staying alive. The secret to long-term success isn't a magical indicator or a secret algorithm. It's a concept so simple it sounds boring, yet it's the only thing that actually works, keeping your losses so small that they feel like nothing more than the cost of doing business. Imagine you own a coffee shop. Some days, you drop a glass and it breaks. You don't close the shop and cry. You sweep up the glass, buy a new one for a few dollars, and keep serving coffee. That broken glass is your stop loss. It's a tiny, controlled cost that allows the rest of your business to thrive. Most people treat a losing trade like a tragedy. They feel like the market is attacking them personally. But a professional looks at a loss as a piece of data. If you set a limit on how much you're willing to lose before you even enter the trade, you take all the power away from the market. You are the one in control. You're saying, I'm willing to pay $20 to see if this idea is worth $1,000. If it's not, you pay your $20 and walk away with a smile, because you still have your capital to fight another day. The biggest enemy you will ever face isn't a hedge fund or a high-frequency trading bot. It's your own ego. Your ego wants to be right. It wants to prove to your friends and family that you're a trading wizard. But the market doesn't care about your ego. It will crush it without a second thought. To survive, you have to learn to love taking small losses. You have to realize that a hit stop loss is actually a victory. Why? Because it means you followed your plan. It means you protected your future self from a disaster. Every time you close a small losing trade, you are proving that you have the discipline to be a professional. Now, let's talk about the math that makes the rich richer. It's called the power of the 3-to-1 ratio. Most people think they need to win 90% of the time to be successful. That's a fantasy. You can be wrong more than half the time and still end up incredibly wealthy. If every time you win, you make 3 times more than what you lose, the math does all the heavy lifting for you. Imagine you take 10 trades. You lose 6 of them. In a normal person's world, that's a failure. But if you lost $10 on each of those 6 trades, you're down $60. Now, look at the 4 trades you won. If you made $30 on each of those, you've made $120. Even though you were wrong most of the time, you walked away with a $60 profit. That is the secret of the elite. They aren't smarter than you, they just have a better relationship with math. But where do you actually put your safety net? You can't just pick a random number out of thin air. The market doesn't care about your bank account or your personal feelings. It moves based on levels of supply and demand, based on where people are trapped and where the big players are moving. Your safety net should be placed at the point of truth. This is the price level where, if the market touches it, your original reason for taking the trade is officially dead. If you bought a stock because you thought it was breaking out of a cage, and then it falls back into that cage, your reason for being in that trade is gone. There is no reason to wait and see. The truth has been revealed. The breakout failed. If you stay in, you aren't trading the chart anymore. You're trading a ghost. A professional sees that truth and exits immediately. They don't argue with the screen. They don't wait for a miracle. They just move on to the next opportunity. The most dangerous thing a trader can do is move their stop-loss further away. We've all been there. The price gets close to your exit point, and you think, if I just give it another few cents, it'll turn around. That is the exact moment you lose your edge. You've turned a calculated business risk into a desperate hope. By widening your risk, you are telling the market that you are willing to let one mistake ruin your entire week, or month, or even your career. You must treat your exit point like a stone wall. It does not move. It does not bend. It is there to protect you from yourself. As you get better at this, you'll realize that trading is actually more about defense than offense. It's like a championship sports team. The offense might get the headlines, but the defense wins the trophies. Your defense is your ability to say no. No to bad trades. No to over-leveraging. No to staying in a position that isn't working. When you focus on not losing money, the winning takes care of itself. It sounds counterintuitive, but the less you try to make money, and the more you focus on protecting money, the faster your account will grow. Think of your trading account like a garden. If you want a beautiful garden, you don't just plant seeds and walk away. You have to pull the weeds. The losing trades are the weeds. If you let them grow because you're hoping they'll turn into flowers, they will eventually choke out everything else and kill your entire garden. You have to be ruthless. Pull the weeds while they're small. Don't let them take deep roots. If you keep your garden clean, the flowers, the winning trades, will have all the room they need to grow into something massive. And once a trade starts working, your job changes. You go from being a guard to being a hunter. This is where the trailing stop comes in. Imagine you're hiking up a mountain. As you reach a new plateau, you pull your safety rope up behind you. You don't stay anchored to the bottom of the mountain. In trading, as the price moves in your favor, you move your safety net up. This does two things. It protects the profit you've already made, and it removes the stress from your mind. There is a magical feeling that happens when you move your stop to break even. Suddenly, the trade is free. You literally cannot lose money on it anymore. This is when your brain finally relaxes. You stop checking the price every 5 minutes. You stop biting your nails. You've successfully removed the risk, and now you're just along for the ride. This is how you capture the big moves that everyone dreams about. You don't get a 500% gain by being lucky. You get it by moving your safety net up and letting the market do the work for you. But remember, the market is designed to trick you. It will often try to shake you out. It will dip down just enough to hit everyone's safety nets before it rockets higher. This is why you have to be smart about your placement. Don't put your exit exactly where everyone else does. Don't use obvious round numbers that the big banks can see. Be a bit more clever. Put your net in the places where the market shouldn't go if the trend is actually healthy. Give it just enough room to breathe, but not enough room to bleed you dry. One of the hardest parts of this journey is the waiting. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want results now. But the market doesn't work on your schedule. Sometimes, the best trade you can make is the one you don't take. Professionals spend 90% of their time waiting for the perfect moment, the moment where the risk is tiny and the potential reward is huge. Amateurs spend 90% of their time clicking buttons because they're bored or because they're chasing a feeling. If you can master the art of sitting on your hands, you will be ahead of 99% of people out there. Trading is not about excitement. If you're looking for excitement, go to a casino. Real trading is almost boring. It's a repetitive process of identifying a setup, calculating the risk, setting the safety net, and then letting the plan play out. If you feel like your heart is pounding every time you're in a trade, your position size is too big. You're risking too much. You should be able to walk away from your computer, go for a walk, or eat dinner with your family without worrying about what the market is doing. If you can't do that, you aren't a trader. You're a prisoner to the price action. To truly succeed, you have to change your entire philosophy of wealth. Wealth isn't about one big score. It's about the slow, steady compounding of many small wins and the aggressive avoidance of large losses. If you lose 50% of your account, you have to make 100% just to get back to where you started. That is a hole most people never dig themselves out of. But if you never lose more than 1% or 2% on a single trade, you never find yourself in that hole. You stay in the game. And as long as you're in the game, you have a chance to win. The world of trading is full of gurus, promising you a 100% win rate. They are lying to you. Even the best traders in history had losing streaks. What made them legends wasn't that they never lost, it was that they never let a loss define them. They had the humbleness to admit when they were wrong and the strength to stick to their rules when things got tough. They treated trading like a high-level business, not a hobby. As you move forward, I want you to start looking at your charts differently. Don't look for where you can make money. Look for where the danger is. Look for the trapdoors in the price. Before you even think about how much you could win, ask yourself, how much am I willing to pay to find out if I'm right? If the price of that information is too high, walk away. There will always be another trade. The market isn't going anywhere. It will be there tomorrow, and the day after that, and the year after that. The only thing that might not be there is your capital if you don't protect it. This journey is as much about mastering your mind as it is about mastering the charts. You will feel the urge to break your rules. You will feel the sting of a stopped-out trade that then goes in your direction. It will happen. It's part of the tuition you pay to the market. But don't let it break your discipline. One lucky win by breaking your rules is the most dangerous thing that can happen to a trader, because it teaches you that you can get away with bad behavior. And eventually, the market will collect its debt with interest. The goal is to become a machine. A machine doesn't feel regret. A machine doesn't get angry at a red candle. A machine simply executes the logic it was programmed with. Your job is to program yourself with the logic of survival. When you reach the point where a loss doesn't ruin your day and a win doesn't make you feel like a god, that is when you have truly arrived. You are finally a professional. Think about the most successful people in any field: surgeons, pilots, engineers. They don't wing it. They follow strict checklists and safety protocols. They know that even a small mistake can be fatal. Trading is no different. Your safety net or stop-loss is your checklist. It is your emergency oxygen. It is the only thing standing between you and the graveyard of failed traders. Respect it. Use it. And eventually, you will find that the mountain you were trying to climb isn't as scary as it seemed. The path to freedom isn't paved with perfect trades. It's paved with disciplined trades. It's about showing up every day, managing your risk like a hawk, and having the patience to let the math work its magic. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in a marathon, the person who wins isn't the one who starts the fastest. It's the one who manages their energy and avoids injury until the finish line. So, the next time you sit down at your desk and open your charts, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that your first job is to protect what you have. Your second job is to grow it. Never get those two mixed up. Put on your harness, secure your safety rope, and walk that tightrope with confidence. Because when you aren't afraid of the fall, you can finally enjoy the view. As you continue to grow, you'll start to notice that the best setups are often the ones that look the scariest to the public. The public buys when everyone is shouting to the moon, and sells when everyone is screaming, "It's over." But you, the professional, will be watching the levels. You'll be looking for the points where the weak hands get forced out. You'll enter when the risk is at its absolute lowest, right at the edge of the cliff, with your safety net just inches below you. This is the art of the entry. It's about finding that sweet spot where if you're right, you're early to a massive move, and if you're wrong, you know it almost immediately. This minimizes your insurance premium, the amount you pay to the market for the chance to be right. The smaller you can keep that premium, the more times you can afford to play the game. And the more times you play the game with a 3-to-1 edge, the more certain your success becomes. Let go of the need for action. Action is for amateurs. Professionals want results. If the market is choppy and messy, stay away. If you don't see a clear point of truth where you can place your safety net, don't take the trade. It's better to miss a winning trade than to be stuck in a losing one without a plan. Your capital is your ammunition. If you fire it all at random shadows in the dark, you won't have anything left when the real target appears. Finally, understand that this is a lifelong skill. The markets will change. Technology will change. But human psychology will never change. Fear and greed have looked the same for hundreds of years, and they will look the same 100 years from now. By mastering risk management and the safety net mindset, you are learning a skill that will serve you in any market, in any era, and in any part of the world. You are building a business that you can run from a laptop anywhere on Earth. But like any business, it requires rules, discipline, and a focus on the bottom line. Stop looking for the Holy Grail indicator and start looking in the mirror. You are the Holy Grail. Your discipline is the secret weapon. Your ability to accept a small loss is your superpower. When you finally realize that the exit is more important than the entry, everything changes. You stop being a victim of the price and start being a master of your destiny. You start to see the beauty in the numbers and the peace in the process. You realize that you don't have to predict the future. You just have to manage the present. So, go out there and build your kingdom. But build it on a foundation of safety. Protect your capital with everything you've got, and the market will eventually reward your patience with wealth beyond what you thought possible. This isn't just about money. It's about the freedom that comes from knowing you can survive anything the world throws at you. You have the harness. You have the map. Now, all you have to do is walk the rope. One disciplined step at a time. The journey of 1,000 trades begins with a single stop-loss. Make yours count. Be the trader who is still here 10 years from now, sharing your story of how you turned small, controlled risks into a life of absolute freedom. That is the true goal. That is the professional way. And that is exactly what you are capable of achieving if you start today. Believe in the process, trust the math, and never, ever trade without your net. Your future self will thank you.